Okay, so in my last video, video one of this, I got a '94 GMC Suburban K1500. It's a four-wheel drive. Was having problems with my fuel injectors, which come off the throttle body. Now, the good thing about this truck is that it only has two fuel injectors here, and so I was having problems with the left one. If you buy these new, they can be as cheap as 50 bucks each, and then as much as 100 bucks each. Or you can go to a junkyard and pay like 4 or 5 bucks and get them out of the old trucks. And you're taking a chance that they work or don't work. But generally, they do work. Fuel injectors are meant to always work well. So I went and grabbed a couple of new ones, used ones out of the junkyard. And I pulled, this is my old throttle body, part of it. This is the rest of the throttle body all cleaned up here. And so when you're going to end up buying a kit, you're going to have to rebuild your throttle body, because you're going to have to take all these screws out here, remove it, and clean it up in there, put in a new gasket, and get this ready to put back in your vehicle. So what happened to me, of all things, was when I put this one back in my old truck, this little piece right here broke off from right there, just snapped off, and so I had to take everything apart again. And prior to that, the car started up just fine, and both of the fuel injectors were spraying perfect patterns, so which is great. I had a little tiny fuel leak, so I went in and took care of that. But now we have a whole new throttle body. Went to the junkyard again and got this bottom portion of the throttle body, cleaned it up, and placed the old portion that I had already taken care of, placed that back on top. So now we have a complete product here. We're all cleaned up here. You should also know, the only tools you need for this is a 5/8 and a 3/4 inch to take your two fuel lines off the back here, and you'll need a 20 and a 25 hex or a 6-star wrench to work with these screws here in your throttle body. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put the throttle body back together here. Got a little O-ring gasket, and that just kind of sits right on top here. You got to kind of work it around your little things there. Hopefully I don't break it in two. All right, and that just kind of slips on and sits right there. Okay, right on top of the throttle body. And you got this little sucker right here. It does have a clean side, like a kind of a smooth side, and it has a ridged side. And I'm guessing the ridged side goes up. And that just kind of fits right in there. Now, keep in mind, all this has been cleaned up real nice. I just use on this portion, I use gum out or carburetor cleaner or whatever, and get that all nice and clean. This is all ready to go. I'm gonna check my fuel lines here. Got one here, and the other one is over here underneath. Yep. So this came off the old one. I'm gonna go ahead and pop that off if I can. There we go. Doesn't take much to crack that nut, and then this comes off. And this is gonna make for putting on the other one. This still has a little gasket on there, which, if this one over here fails, I can always, use the old gasket, right? So we're gonna go ahead and get this stuff out of the way. And we're gonna just drop this right down here. Make sure everything is all lined up real nice. I've already tightened these screws down. You can check when you get the gasket kit, the rebuild kit for this. They do have torque ranges for these bolts here. What I can tell you is tight. Okay, you want to make sure those are nice and tight. And you know, same way you change a tire or take a tire off, you want to jump around, you know, cross pattern tightening, and that should work out really nice. And once you feel like everything is nice and solid in there, you go ahead and tighten it down. So I'm going to take these three, put these bolts in. I'm pretty sure that went in the right one. Yep. And get that out of the way, you don't need that. And make sure I'm using the right hex tool. And I'll go ahead and tighten the first one down, not completely. Tighten this one down. Don't go too hard on that. And tighten number 3 down, hopefully. So make sure that's going in nice and smooth. Now these can vary in their ability to tighten down. So what I'm going to do is, you can see that this has all been getting all tightened down, and want to make sure everything is ready to go. I'm going to put on my fuel lines. They go in the back here. And then I'm going to come back and I'll start the car. Okay? So I'll be back with video number 3, and we'll see if this thing starts up. All right? There we go.